And now, live from the studios of Freedom's Phoenix, Ernest Hancock.
Welcome back to Declare Your Independence. Yeah, we're just loading up the page, all kinds of goodies. It'll be a good place for you to start on having some plans, and I'm sure you guys got some too. Email me. Publisher at freedoms with an S, freedomsphoenix.com, and I'll add it to it, and we'll put it in our category off-grid living. If you go to the top of Freedom's Phoenix, just go ahead and do that. You know, I want to make sure you guys see this. Let's go ahead and go to the top of Freedom's Phoenix here. And you see on the top navigation bar, it says Archives. It has a drop down. You go Contents listed by subject. Now you can go into O, now for off-grid living, and you go looking for it, off-grid living. We click on there, and you have all of these different reference materials for different things that you can do for just sustaining yourself. Ooh, portable farm. Yeah, you want to go check that one out, man. That's where you got your fish and growing vegetables and so on. So that's got it going on. Now, I want to show you this one thing. This is steel containers. You can get them 20 feet, 40 feet, 40-foot high cube steel containers. Now, they have prices on here and so on. You got to go through it. So, but they're generally come in at about $2,500. Now, some people use these for building homes. I mean, you can just, put them in all kinds of different configurations, and you can have them stacked up in all kinds of different ways. And let's go ahead and do that. Shipping container housing, just go ahead and do that. Yeah, Sierra, put that in. Shipping container housing. Yeah, we'll put that up. So we'll go ahead and look at some of these homes. You can build a nice house. Now let's take a look at that. Ooh, ain't that pretty? There's all kinds of things that you can do. I want to make sure that you guys are able to just get off and survive. They even got a shipping container turned into a swimming pool. And why not? So we need to start, and where's the limitation on this? What's stopping us from having that? I remember you go into the housing category on Freedom's Phoenix, and the graphic that we have as the title image for that is from The Fountainhead by Howard Rourke. I always remembered that, that movie, that old Ayn Rand book that was turned into a movie with, I think it wasn't Jimmy Stewart, it was Cary Grant, I think. And what he did is he would build inexpensive housing for people, and of course, the man came in and they wanted to, and you can't and whatever, and that's what the whole book was about. But, the one thing that I got out of that is there's a lot that we can do if the man just gets out of the way. They are taking up more and more land. Is the United States where we want to be? Do we have an allegiance to, or a pledge, or a commitment, or an obligation to this country? What is our obligation to? Being left alone. It's to freedom. Where do we go for? I don't know. I mean, one of the things that we were talking about doing, talking to my wife, I said, it'd be nice to have a base. I mean, we need to, get a home, get it going on, so on. But, maybe we do the RV thing. Maybe, I'm looking for freedom in America. I look hard. We'll do it over a year so that we can go, in the winter months in the northern part and in southern America, and the summer, northern, southern. We just kind of keep going up and down, so we get a full bead on things, and we can do the show from the road, and we can do Freedom's Phoenix, and we got, we can do the same thing we're doing, but we can actually hit the road. It'd be like Motorhome Diaries, Liberty on Tour. We'll go out and we'll do the show, meet everybody, and see where do we want to go. But let me tell you, what's the questions that I would ask? As we're looking around here in Arizona, there are websites that you look for, things like demographics, precipitation, average temperature of, fill in the blank city, put in the zip code, and it has enormous amounts of information. What the average ages of the people are, what's their primary source of income, what industries do they have, and so on. As you get more rural, this is one thing that we found out. The primary source of income, well over half, is some government or utility thing. You're working for your law enforcement, your administration, your education system. You're working at some utility that's regulated by the government. The water. I mean, it's all about supporting the infrastructure, the grid, the man. Where is there that you can go and it's not there? I don't know. I'd like to find out. I mean, is it, you got to go up in Idaho? You got to go Montana, Wyoming, Keene? I mean, where do you go? If you did that demographic search on even New Hampshire, you go, maybe there's a little bit too much demand here. This is the one thing that we noticed. I've been probably like 6-7 times over the last few years to New Hampshire. Every time I go, it's a long plane ride. I mean, that's a long ways from the Southwest. So that's the only negative thing really about it. When you go there, you have an entirely different atmosphere because the government is set up different. You'll have, they're going to hit me for getting this wrong, but I think it's like 500 and something legislators. They don't get paid hardly anything, just get some per diem, for them doing. And I remember them not having the where they meet for passing legislation. They don't have air conditioning. We need air conditioning. We need to make it more comfortable. No, we don't. And it's too hot. Well, close the session, So they have way more government than I anticipated there. But because of the way it's structured, you have so many legislators representing such a small number of people. It's more diversified. Every, highway, even when it's, we were there during the winter of 07 and 08. And I'll tell you, that was the biggest snowstorms in like 100 and something years there. And we were having a great time. But they don't have this kind of central plan clear the road. It's like you got all these local guys that are responsible for their own thing. Boom. Within a few hours, roads cleared. I was amazed. And you had these state roads that are beautiful driving experience, and they're well maintained. You have people living on much larger pieces of property. Their homes are much farther apart. It's very rural. It's much more decentralized in New Hampshire. And from my experience, you had 3 main groups of the people that went there. You had the people in the Free State Project that went to Nashua and Manchester and so on, and Concord, the center of power, the collectivized municipal areas. We're gonna take over. Yeah, we're gonna vote us all in. We're gonna run it. Like, yeah, we'll see. So they're of that mindset. We're gonna vote ourselves free. All right, well, we need somebody to try it. That was the argument, saying, look, you get enough people here, we can take over a state. And one of the criteria, you have an international border. It borders up with Canada. Okay, cool. Got access to the ocean. You got access to the Atlantic there. Okay, well, that's better than not. So you're not landlocked. All right. Then the other crowd is like, yeah, we're not going to play this government thing. We're going to Keene. Keene is, I got the impression, and they say I'm wrong, but I got the impression that it was a little bit more rural. It was like newer building. I just kind of didn't get that old red brick kind of feeling there. And they're saying I'm on crack. That's exactly what it was. But I kind of got the impression it was more newer construction there. It was a little bit more up and coming. But so those live there no more than I do. But in Keene, they said, we're just going to do this civil disobedience. We're going to point out where the state is encroaching on it. We just want to be left alone. We're coming here to be left alone, and we're going to exercise that. And they'll find that there are people there that are going, yeah, what these guys said. Because when you go and you live in a community and you grow up there, you know who the powers are. It's the Chamber of Commerce, de la mayor and crony city council. We rule, and it's ours, and we can legislate somebody out in ordinance and zone, and you're not welcome, and you got to play by the rules that we set. Cause the civil disobedience thing. Do they start having an understanding? Do they get an education from the people doing that, and they start siding with them? Do you change the culture that way? Maybe. I'm very supportive of trying that out. Then you got in northern New Hampshire is that, hey man, I'm not on any list. Yeah, I moved here, be left alone. I don't want to even get your mailing. Don't be sending me anything. I'm good. So you go, all right. So the 3 main groups, from my experience of being up there several times, those that think that they can vote themselves free, those that are civil disobedience just claiming their freedom, and those that just went there to be free and you don't even know I'm here. So that's a real good microcosm of, some place that this has been tried. Other places, Arizona has a lot of the same kind of mentality, as does the United States. Are we going to go around trying to find it? That's an option too. We're thinking. I'm just sharing with you. With all this knowledge, you guys need to get up on this kind of information yourselves. FreedomsPhoenix.com. Go to today's show and you'll see it.